Are you ready to turn heads? Luxury isn't just worn, it's experienced. Introducing a Layla Cara style and new up-and-coming designer collection where exclusive shoes and bags for men and women meets your feet. How about you take a handbag and wear it in style, where each piece is personally designed by Layla Carroll herself and handcrafted from the finest material in Italy. Leather, smooth like butter, bold, timeless, distinctly you. Step into true elegance and make your mark with a Layla Cara style where confidence meets craftsmanship. Visit a Layla Cara style and experience the luxury of art that you wear. I want to get started by saying, my name is Alayla. For those of you who do not know me, I am a certified life coach. I own my own company. The name of it is Imaging Coaching, LLC. And I also sell products such as this sweater that I have on. I make sweaters, also make t-shirts, and I create different designs and all those things like that. So if you would like to purchase any of those items, just go on the website at imagingcoaching.com. And it's spelled no, my bad. I'm thinking of IMAGING and coaching COACHING.com. So anyways, try to turn this down. It's a little loud. I'm getting distracted by the music, so I want to kind of turn it down some. So I am also doing my podcast as well. So that's why I got two headsets on. You got two headsets on. Yeah, I got two headsets on. I'm that person. I'm extra because I feel like, hey, do you the way you know how to do you, and that way you can be comfortable in your own skin. So if you're extra, shoot, be extra. If you're not, you're not. So welcome to the podcast for those of you who are listening. And you know how we do it on the podcast. So I'm going to get straight into it. I don't like to lollygag and linger around while I'm doing my podcast. I like to get right to the message. So I'm going to read from my book. Yes, my new book. You can also purchase a copy on Amazon.com. And if you sign up for my newsletter on the website, imagingcoaching.com, then I will send you a free PDF copy. But if you would like to have a hard copy in your hand like I have right now, or have e-copy from the ebook, then you can purchase it from Amazon.com. And the name of the book is 365 Days of Mindfulness, Your Daily Affirmation. So this is your daily affirmation guide. I want to read from day 203. And that says, I am confident in my abilities. I trust myself to overcome any challenges. And I'm going to continue. So that's the quote for the affirmation for that day. And what the affirmation is talking about is, I carry a deep and unshakable confidence in my abilities, knowing that I possess the strength and resilience to overcome any challenges that come my way. Trusting in my innate capabilities, I approach difficulties as opportunities for growth and learning. With each challenge, I stand firm in my belief in myself, drawing upon my skills, knowledge, and determination to navigate through any adversity. My self-trust is a beacon that guides me through the storms of life, assuring me that I have the inner resources to overcome obstacles and emerge stronger on the other side. I am confident, capable, and resilient, ready to face whatever challenges life presents with unwavering courage. So, today's topic is about how do you deal with difficult people. Before I get started, I want to kind of change the energy a little bit, so just give me a second. I'm going to get some sound back going on. That's one of the ways how I deal with difficult people. I give myself a sound bath to calm myself down when I am stressed out. Just now, that little bit that I did was very calming. It soothed my nerves. It did. It calmed my nerves down. So that's one of the ways I deal with difficult people. I make sure I have things that I need that I can use when I'm alone in my own timing where I can calm myself down. So I had an interesting conversation with somebody that she's like, I would say like an aunt to me. She's not my aunt, but she's like an aunt to me. She's been knowing me since before I was born and been in my life since forever. And she called and I was like, wow. She was asking me some questions about, some individual, whatever in my life and how I'm dealing with that and how I dealing with difficult people. And, I don't want to get into details about that because it's no one's business, but I want to share. That's how I came up with this topic today, because I was thinking like what I'm going to talk about, but then I realized that was a conversation to have with you guys about dealing with people who are difficult. How do you deal with that? Because some people might choose to leave and never return and be around people that they know who are difficult and they just stay away from them. That's called avoidance. You avoid the person. But then what about if that person is somebody you can't not avoid? What if they turn out to be a parent, a sibling, or even your spouse, and you find out that you're not able to avoid them? So how do you deal with that person? For me, I'm going to speak from experience. So what I do, I limit how much contact I have with the person. If it's somebody who's not living in the house with me, I limit how much contact. I dictate how much time I spend with them, knowing that if I spend too much time with them, we're going to end up arguing or they're going to end up getting on my nerves. So I'm going to have to find out a way, how much time can I actually give to this person, still spend the time that I need with this person, but not allow them to affect me emotionally or mentally. And sometimes it might be to a point where I have to say, okay, well, I can't have them come to my home because I have my certain aura in my house that I like to have. And if they come in, it might cause it to break the aura. Like what I'm trying to say is their energy might be negative to a point where now I'm uncomfortable at home, because I don't care what no one says, you guys. Spirits are real. Spirits are real. And if you have someone with a bad spirit around you, that spirit will attach itself to you and come off on you. And then have you ever I'm gonna give you an example how spirits are real, an energy shift. Have you ever been in a situation where you was happy, things was good, you was having a great time, and then all of a sudden someone whose energy is low shows up, or they negative and they show up, or you talk to them, and by the time that you're done talking with them or they leave the room, the whole environment has changed. Everybody's energy is different. Your energy is off. You're not happy no more. You're feeling drained. You're feeling uncomfortable. You're feeling like the world just beat itself down on you. And nothing really happened. It's just because that person's energy fell off on you. So if you cannot protect yourself from that happening, then that's when the avoidance come. But then you can't avoid everybody now. Sometimes you cannot avoid a bad situation. You can't avoid people with negative attitudes or whatever. But the same energy that they use to transfer to you, you can also transfer your positive energy to them. You just have to be stronger than they are. You have to be more aggressive than they are with your positivity. So let's say you have a person who was upset. Let's say you're at work or something like that, and this person always have a bad attitude, or they come in and they're like, you know what, don't bother me today. I don't feel like being bothered. What do you want? What? All this type of attitude. They, doing all this, whatever. The gesture. Sometimes all it takes to change that person's attitude and their mood is your approach, how you approach them. Instead of approaching them with the same energy, because I have heard people say, well, what you give to me, I'm giving it back to you. You serve me that energy, I'm serving you that same energy. Well, you can't fight fire with fire because it just makes the fire bigger. So what puts out fire? You smother it or you drown it. So one way or another, you're going to have to use your head in situation instead of your emotions. And the best way to do that is to approach them better than they're approaching you. Give them a better energy than what they're giving to you. And some of the ways you can do that is when that person is like, I ain't trying to, I'm tired. I ain't trying to have none of this going on. I'm feeling bad or whatever. I don't want to hear this today, or I ain't here to work. I ain't come to work, whatever that may be. Then your approach, how you approach them. What do you say to them? How do you change their attitude? How do you do that? You don't give them a cliche for starters. You don't say something like, well, at least you're what you call it? You got a job or something like that. You got some people who will be like, well, at least you have a job. And that's not it. That's a cliche, which is true. At least they do got a job, but that's not going to change their attitude. The way you change their attitude is how you address them as an individual and their feelings. People want to be validated by their feelings. They're feeling bad. They're feeling like they don't want to work today. And you have to figure out a way to still allow them to express themselves, but don't allow their energy to rub off on you. There's different ways to do this. You can do it in a way that's very subtle, and that could be something like you can approach them and be like, so what makes you feel this way? Why you don't feel like working today? What is it that's happening that you don't feel like working today? And a lot of times they just want to be heard because no one is listening to them, and they just want to be heard. It's like they just want to talk and tell you the reason why they're feeling like they don't want to be at work. And that situation could be because something happened last night. They didn't get enough sleep. And they're like, I wish I could be in the bed instead of being here.
We'll be back after a quick break.
If you haven't already, check out my luxury shoe and bag collection, a Layla Cara style. Each piece is personally designed by me and handcrafted from genuine Italian leather. Whether you're dressing up or keeping it casual, these pieces were made to help you walk with confidence. Because real style starts from how you feel. Go to alaylacarolstyle.com and experience these bold, timeless, and completely all you. Check it out. You might find something you like. And then you can be like, you know what? I definitely know that feeling. I feel that way sometimes too. When I don't get enough sleep, I be like, I don't feel like working. Leave me alone. Now you can relate to them. And now they're like, man, okay, somebody understand. So what I'm saying is you become relatable in a positive way. And then you can say something in a more forward way. It don't have to be subtle. You can say something like, well, you can look at the bright side. You're only here for 8 hours, or you only have whatever amount of hours. And once this is done, you can go home and get back in your bed and go to sleep. I know that bed gonna feel good. I know that bed gonna be comfortable. Man, I can only imagine how those pillows are gonna feel. Oh my goodness. Look at you. You got me ready to go home and get in the bed. Now you done changed their attitude again to where they like, man, I know, right? Pillows are nice, Or maybe I need to get some new pillows. And he's like, hey, why don't you stop by the store and get you some new pillows on your way home? That way you can really get a good night's sleep. Get some good rest. So instead of allowing that person's energy to rub off on you, you transfer your energy to them. You give them what you have. Don't give it all away because you still need something for yourself. But you give them what you have. That's what you do. Now, there are some people who are way more difficult than that. I know some individuals, I have some in my life that's like that. And sometimes I have to step back from them and put myself in a situation where I have to tell myself, first off, I don't have to put up with this, or I'm not going to put up with this. And I got to make decisions for myself that's healthy for me and my family that's in my home. And then I started making decisions based on that. So I want to give you some examples, but I don't want to offend anybody. But I'm going to try to put this in a way where I would make it more broad than narrowing it down to a specific individual. So let's just say, like, you have somebody that you love, and that person is dear to you, but that person's understanding is not always great. Their understanding is they only see things their way. They don't see it no other way but the way they want it, how they want it, the way they want it, and that's just what it is. And you might want to call this person a narcissist, because there are people with narcissistic personalities. And those type of people are very difficult to deal with. I married a narcissistic person. I divorced him too. But as I was with that person, it was difficult for me because I had never dealt with a narcissistic personality before I got with him that I knew of. Like, I didn't know what narcissistic was until I got with him. But as I look back at things and I started seeing my life and who I have been encountered with, I realized I dealt with more than just him as a narcissistic personality. I had other people that I had in my life and still to this day have in my life who was narcissistic. And this person, I can't just get rid of them because they're a family member. And I realized that how do I deal with this person in love? You got to deal with people in love. When you deal with a narcissistic person in love that's you can't get rid of, you have to protect yourself at all costs. You have to protect what's very dear and special to you. So I flew with this flight attendant recently, and I showed her my book, and she was like, I need this book. And I wasn't showing her my book for her. I was actually using my book to put together a presentation that I am about to be starting on for next year for 2024 for Rice University. I got offered to become full-time for helping the athletes there for mental health and managing stress. And I was trying to see how I can use my book because I got more than one book. I was trying to see how I can use not the new one that I have, which is the one I just read from, but the other one that I have, which is called the Stress Eliminator. And that's this one here. And she saw it. Hold on right quick. I see that this thing went out again. See, I'm doing too many cameras at one time. And with each camera, one always start and the other one stops. It's kind of weird that it does that, but it does. And I don't like that it does that. So anyway, I'm gonna keep going. You don't have to see me when I talk. What I was saying is, there you go. What I'm saying is, she saw the book and I didn't know she actually was reading. She was looking at it while I was talking to her. And she read something that talked about self-care. That's one of my first presentations that I'm going to do with them. It's called self-care and how to take care of yourself and put yourself first. And she told me, she said, that's one of my biggest problems that I have. I don't know how to take care of myself. I'm always caring about everybody else and worrying about what everybody else have going on. And I neglect myself every time. And I asked her, I said, if you don't mind me asking, how old are you? And she told me her age. And I said, okay. She's young and she haven't quite hit her 30s yet, but she is knocking on 30. She's very close to it. And I told her, you're in your 20s. When you're in your 20s, usually you're learning yourself. You're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do with your life. By the time you turn 30, your 30s, that decade is usually put aside for you to be working and developing yourself with whatever it is that you really want to do. So in your 20s, you are in school, you graduate from college, you want to party, you want to do all those things, you just want to have fun. But then 30 is coming, and that's where you are right now. And you're trying to figure out what you should be doing with yourself. I was there too. I remember. But by the time you hit them 30s, you're still kind of indecisive. You really don't know, or you do know, and now you're working towards it, and you're working in the profession. You're trying to get these things for yourself, a house and all the extra stuff. But then you forget to take care of what's really important, which is your well-being. And you get stuck and you find yourself in a rut. You find yourself put in a situation where you're uncertain about and you're not sure about. And then she told me, she said, I just broke up with my boyfriend. Well, my boyfriend just broke up with me. And I'm listening to her and I'm like, okay, that's normal. I mean, I done had a lot of boyfriends that broke up with me, and I done broke up with them. What's tell me more? Give me some substance that I can use. And she told me, I don't want to be broken up with him, and I just don't, and I want him back. And I sent him this text message, and she let me read the text message. It was long. That's what us women do. We write our feelings out, don't we? And she was going in on that, and some of the things she was saying, I was like, okay. And then his response was very subtle to all that she said. He had one little thing to say. And I say, wow, okay. Let me tell you this first off. Don't write him like that again. Do not give him no more of your feelings. That part you already got out. Don't give him any more, because I'm pretty sure he read what you said, but he is processing it and he don't know what to say to you. And I said, have you ever done this before? She said, no, I told him that I do have a little crazy in me, but you ain't never seen the crazy until you break up with me. I said, oh, difficult person. She's going to be difficult now. And I just basically let her know, you're not going to get him back like that. You're going to show him a side of you that's going to make him scared of you and going to run from you. Don't no one want to deal with that. I don't understand how people think that's okay. I've always said to myself, when I saw people break up and then that person go crazy and then they're expecting to get the person back, what's wrong with you that you think that's going to work? Why in the world do you think that crazy get things done? It doesn't. Being crazy don't get anything done. It doesn't get people to want to come back to you. It just doesn't. And so the advice I gave her was, don't do that again. Do not text him again. Matter of fact, let him text you. I said, he might not text you though. If I read everything, if I was him and I read what you just wrote, I wouldn't text you back either. But if y'all really was really good friends the way you say y'all was, and y'all have that much history together like you say you do, I will be concerned about you, and I will want the best for you, and I will want to know that you're okay. So eventually, if I haven't heard from you in such a long time, I'll probably reach out to you just to see that you're good. But I'm not going to say I want to get back with you. And so, with that being said, she also went on to say, when she read more about what I wrote in the new book, she got a chance to look at the new book, and she was like, I want a copy of that. And I was going to have her buy it, but some told me this girl needs more than that. She really needs some self-changing, some self-healing, and she needs to understand herself. And that's why I went on ahead and gave her a PDF copy for she could start the journey of healing, because that's what she needed. I said, you need some healing, because in this situation, you want to get married, you want children, and soon your biological clock is going to start ticking. So you need to take time to heal yourself. And anyways, with that being said, because I don't want to get too far into that, because what I talk about with my clients or anyone per se, I don't like to share all that information, but I do use it as an example, and I never give up the source of the person I'm talking about, but I definitely use it as an example because I want you to understand that we're not alone. We all have something in our lives that we're dealing with, whether it's internal or external. But the point is that we're dealing with something. And in this case, for this topic, we're talking about difficult people and being difficult. What if you are the difficult one? See, we never thought about that, huh? We talk about others, but what about ourselves? What if you are the difficult one? What is it that's making you so difficult? Is it your emotions? Because you don't have your emotions in check? Because you don't know how to control your emotions? Or you allow your emotions to take control of your behavior? People don't understand, some people don't understand that emotions do drive you to make decisions. But that is the worst type of decision that you can ever do, you can ever make, is by allowing your emotions to drive you to make those decisions. You have to understand that feelings change. They do. And if you're allowing yourself to be dictated and make decisions based on your feelings, you will always fall short. You will always find yourself with the bottom of the barrel of everything that you have going on in your life, because feelings change. If you are a type of person that when you find yourself mad at somebody and then you choose not to talk to that person and be angry with that person, and then you start making dumb decisions based off of your anger, now you have to be living with the consequence of that choice. Because eventually the anger is going to subside, it's going to go away, and then now you're going to have remorse of the decision making that you made. And I'm going to give you another example. So let's say, ladies, we do this, not all, but most women do this. You in a relationship with a guy, you get this guy your all, and I mean you do everything for him. You're cooking, you're cleaning, you giving him sex, you even change the way you do your hair. You may even went and bought some weave and put in your head that's a different color of what you normally would wear. You stop talking to your friends, or you lie about not talking to your friends because you know he don't like your girlfriends, or whatever the case may be. You do all this stuff, right? Just to please him. And he goes out, he cheats on you. He finds himself with somebody else, and you find out about it. And now you're angry. You're pissed. You're mad. You're like pissed, And you start doing all this crazy stuff. Maybe breaking furniture in the house, or I'm an example for that one. Or you start flattening tires, or you do whatever you do. You just go bananas. And now you're in a situation after it's over with where you have to deal with the consequences of that action. Yeah, your man went out and he cheated, but now you're dealing with, you got to buy furniture all over again if y'all live together, if it's your house or whatever, or you have to fix these tires or all these different things. Now you cost yourself money. Another example, and this is one of the examples that I want to use because I have seen people do this, women per se. Let's say, for instance, same thing happens, same scenario, but not breaking things. You go out and you have sex with another guy to try to hurt him. One or two things happen. This guy that you have sex with, the condom breaks, and he gets you pregnant. Now you got a baby that you got to deal with. And this was all based off of emotions. And now you got to deal with the fact that you're pregnant by somebody that you really didn't want to be with, but you did it because you wanted to hurt the person that you really love. And now you find yourself dealing with a baby. Or you get an STD, STI, or whatever. Sexual transmitted disease, sexual transmitted infection, whatever. Now you got to deal with that too. So you basing your emotions, your decisions off of emotions. And when you do that, that's a bad decision. So dealing with anyone that's putting you in a state like that, you have to ask yourself, is it worth it? Why should I be in a relationship or be around a person who make me make dumb decisions based off my emotions? You have to check yourself. You have to really put yourself in a different mindset where you have to start questioning things that you're doing, questioning your behavior, questioning your why, your reason why. You want to question your reason why. Why? am I doing this? Why do I feel this way? Why? Some of you guys might say it's because of love. I do it because I love him. I do it because I love her. But the thing is that, yeah, you might love them, but it's not about loving them. It's about loving yourself. Loving yourself is how you are going to be able to make better decisions. You make better decisions by loving yourself first. There's nothing wrong with loving yourself first. Self-care is not selfish. I'm not going to get into that because that's going to be the presentation that I'm using for Rice University. And I want to make sure that I save that for them. But I do want to say self-care is not selfish, okay? I'm not going to talk too much longer. I do have more I want to say, but I'm going to talk more about this tomorrow when I come back in and do some more. I need to get up in here and start cooking for my family because it's getting late, and I want to make sure everyone gets something to eat and have what they need. So I'm going to sign out right now. Sign out of Layla. Talk to y'all later. Are you feeling overwhelmed and exhausted by stress? Introducing Stress Management with Imaging Coaching, your ticket to a calmer, more balanced life. In this journey you will be taking with us here at Imaging Coaching, we'll equip you with powerful techniques and tools you can use to conquer stress, regain control, and transform your life. From deep breathing exercises to mindfulness practices, you'll discover the tools to relax your mind and body. Come join us on this transformative path and unlock a world of inner peace and resilience. Don't let stress hold you back any longer. Take charge of your well-being today with Imaging Coaching, your stress management team. Discover clarity. Defeat stress through Imaging Coaching at imagingcoaching.com. At imagingcoaching.com. At imagingcoaching.com. At imagingcoaching.com.